that's kind of quietly chipping away at some of our most important fields, burnout. We're going to look at what it really is, who it's hitting the hardest, and, this is the important part, how we can actually start to fight back. And the solution might not be what you think. It's not some massive top-down initiative. It's something much, much smaller. It's about the conversations we have every single day.
You know, this quote from Dr. Reshma Jogzi just nails it. Burnout isn't usually one big dramatic event. Nope, it's the little things. It's like having a tiny pebble in your shoe. One pebble, you can ignore it, but what happens when you get another one? And another? It's all those small frustrations, those little moments of being overlooked, those extra hours that pile up, and eventually they make it almost impossible to keep moving forward.
Okay, so if we're going to tackle this, we have to be super clear about what we're actually dealing with. Because burnout isn't just, a bad mood or feeling stressed. It's a recognized condition, and it has a very specific source. And this definition right here from the National Academies, this is everything. Burnout is a result of unmanaged workplace stress. Just let that sink in. This totally flips the script. The problem isn't you. It's not a personal weakness. The problem is the environment, the workplace that's creating and then failing to manage all that stress.
So yeah, this goes way, way beyond just having a bad day. We're talking about a systemic issue, especially in STEM. These fields can be what some experts call greedy institutions. I mean, they demand everything you have, and then some. The causes are all tangled up in the system itself. So telling someone to just do more yoga or practice self-care completely misses the mark. It's like trying to fix a giant leak in the roof by just handing someone a slightly bigger bucket. It doesn't solve the real problem.
And here's where things get even more serious. Because this big, systemic problem, it doesn't affect everyone equally. Not even close. The weight of this crisis is not shared evenly at all.
This one sentence has massive implications. For any organization that says it cares about equity, about inclusion, well, understanding this uneven burden is absolutely step one. Burnout isn't just a wellness problem. It has become a full-blown equity crisis.
Now check this out, because this is where it gets really clear. Look at these specific stressors. For women and people of color, you've got the constant draining weight of discrimination and microaggressions. Those are more pebbles in the shoe, day in and day out. For people with disabilities or caregiving responsibilities, you've got these systemic barriers and a total lack of flexibility. These aren't personal issues. These are institutional failures that are literally burning out entire groups of people at a much faster rate.
Okay, so the problem is huge. It's systemic. It's tied up in equity. It can feel, well, kind of hopeless, right? But what if the place to start changing things is actually small? What if it's something we can all do, right now? What if it all starts with just how we talk to each other?
I mean, this is the big question, isn't it? When you're staring up at a giant mountain, where do you even begin to climb? It feels impossible. But the answer, well, it might be a lot simpler and honestly a lot more powerful than you'd think.
It all starts by shifting how we think about the most basic thing we do at work.
And here it is. According to a framework called Fierce Conversations, this is the key. The conversation is the relationship. Just think about that for a second. Our entire professional world is built out of a series of conversations. They either build trust or they destroy it. They create clarity or they create confusion. They spark amazing ideas or they shut them down. If you want to change the system, you have to start by changing the conversations.
So, what in the world is a fierce conversation? I know the word sounds a little intense, right? But it's not about being mean or aggressive. It's about being real.
So let's just break this down. Over on the left, we have unreal conversations. And let's be honest, this is where most of us live at work, right? We talk around the real issue. We avoid saying what we really think. And the source material calls these incredibly expensive. And they are, in wasted time, in bad decisions, in totally broken trust. Now, a fierce conversation, that's about making it real. It's about looking at what's actually happening, solving the real problems, and believe it or not, making the relationship stronger because of it.
And here's the playbook. Let's just zoom in on a couple of these. Look at number 1. Master the courage to interrogate reality. That's just a way of saying have the guts to talk about what's really going on, not just the comfortable stuff. And then look at number 6. Take responsibility for your emotional wake. Whoa. That's about realizing that our words, our actions, they leave a wake behind us, like a boat in the water. That is the direct cure for those pebbles in the shoe. Just getting good at these two could change absolutely everything for a team.
So, look at what we did. We went from this massive, overwhelming problem of burnout all the way down to a personal, actionable starting point. It all comes down to the quality of the conversations we're willing to have starting today. Which, of course, brings us to one last really important question.
And seriously, this isn't just a rhetorical question to end on. Think about it for a second. What's that pebble in your shoe that you keep ignoring? That conversation you've been avoiding? The feedback you know you need to give? That is your toughest challenge. And tackling the giant crisis of burnout, it really does begin with having the personal courage to have that one real, fierce conversation. The only question left is, what's yours going to be?